Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 2, Episode 7. So first off the bat, you guys, thank you for all of the well wishes for Joe. It was a busy, busy weekend with his graduation and graduation party and going out to eat and, family in town, still in town. As you can tell, I am exhausted. I went on to work today, but boy, a bitch show could have called in. It's been quite a bit of celebrations, honey. Roxanne need to recover. Anyway, Real Housewives of Potomac, let's get to the boring ass show, shall we? Now, first, Cherise, she goes out shopping with her daughter because she is going to start journaling. Dr. Jeff has suggested that she does so, and she's got her daughter with her, who she relies on lately since the shit that she called a marriage has come to bust. They're talking, she's telling her she's going to start journaling because, even though she's tried to keep it away from the kids all this time, the marriage is in trouble. What do you think about it, dear daughter? Well, dear daughter says, well, the nigga ain't never there anyway. So it don't even matter. It's so funny. We as parents, we be trying to protect our kids sometimes, and they already got the beat on it. She was just like, Eddie ain't never been there. The whole time we've been, a family. So it's not going to be no different. The only thing is now you won't be able to call him your husband no more. It's just going to be a divorce thing. But other than that, the daughter was fine. Okay. I felt like she was kind of trying to soften the blow for Charrisse. And Cherise obviously is the last person in the room to realize that the shit been over. Eddie been checked out. Even though they haven't filed for divorce yet, or at least as of this show. I don't know if they have as of today right now. But, yeah, it's just, the daughter was like, Mama, I got you. Don't worry about it. Charisse said she gonna have to rely on her. I said, okay, Charisse, whatever it takes to get you through. We see Monique and her cousin, who is also her executive assistant. You guys see, she has all these homes, remember, and they rent the homes out just in case this whole Potomac thing don't work out. They renting out this last one too. No, I'm sure they probably, are keeping it for rental purposes only. Makes sense, especially if the house is paid for. She has been working as manager of her properties with Chris, and like I said, she has her cousin, what was his name, Harold or something like that, to help out with the managing of the properties, except that the cousin be dropping the ball. They done came up with some shit for her to fuss at him about because, she can't be doing this no more because she got to get home to her man, who sounds like the Allstate man. You guys, didn't he sound like, what's his name? The one that was from Waiting to Excel? Well, you didn't have all that to say when you was fucking my brains out. Every time I see that scene, I just be like, now what made you do all of that? You don't even look like you would say something like that. Child, anyway, what was I talking about? Monique and her husband. Oh, no, not her husband yet. So, anyway, she reprimands the cousin, tells him, that she's got to get away from this. So he got to figure this whole thing out. She got to tend to her man. Her pastor said that she needs to. So he says, don't worry, cousin, I got it. Later on, we see her with her husband. They're going fishing. She says, she's not bougie. She can be bougie, but, she's also a good round-the-way girl. It just kind of depends on the circumstances and the environment. As of now, she is just regular old Momo, okay, from New Jersey. And she and Chris are going fishing. That was one of the things that they were able to connect on when they first met. And they still keep the endearing habit of getting out on the water and fishing for a little bit of local catch. She's just talking to him about, how their relationship was when she first met him. He was 19, she was 19. And she says it was a typical baller, he was just out there wilding out, fucking everybody. Total classic baller, bachelor. When she met him, and then 4 years later, she finally decided to get with him. I guess he had been calmed down by then, and they got married, and the story, y'all know the story from then on. And they have a pretty good relationship. She says any problems that we have is with communication. That's what Chris says. I said, well, maybe if the bitch stopped talking so fucking much, maybe they seem to have a pretty good relationship. While they're sitting there talking, she realizes that maybe she should say sorry to Gizelle for calling her a trick. Her pastor told her that that wasn't the Christian-like thing to do. She didn't really feel good about herself for saying it either. So, yeah, she is going to try to catch up with Gizelle and say, I'm sorry. We see Ashley, and she's busy in the restaurant for a change, okay? I figure the locals probably found out that they were taping the show in there and wanted to be nosy. All of a sudden, all this big boom of people are there, and her damn employees have been calling out because, fuck, they ain't used to having to do nothing anyway. Don't nobody come there, okay? So people been calling out, and Ashley has to work the floor. All in a day's work for a business owner, okay? We jump over to Robyn and Gizelle this very same night there in the car. Robyn tells us that she about sick of that fucking Ashley. Now, she did get annoyed that Gizelle and Cherise also tried to do an intervention. She feels like at least they did it in the privacy of their own home. Well, you know, Ashley, for her to pull that shit at Monique's card party, Juan sitting not even 10 feet away, I feel like she was trying to start some shit. This is what Robyn is telling Gizelle. She said even though she let that shit slide the other day, she can't let it slide much longer. As a matter of fact, she want to get with that fucking Ashley and put her in her place. Okay, Gizelle, you know, steady co-signing like, yeah, you need to talk to her because she always in everybody fucking business. You know, Gizelle, she just love a confrontation. She don't give a fuck where. And plus, you got to remember last season, Gizelle really, it ended with Gizelle not really liking Ashley. They came back this season and act like it was smoothed over, but we ain't forgot last season. So we take it on down to what's the name of the fucking Oz. Take it on down to Oz. Ashley, hey girls, it's such a surprise to see you. She offers them a seat. No, we ain't taking no seats because this ain't gonna take long. Okay, Robyn's basically get the fuck out of my relationship. She was just like, wait a minute, where's all this hostility coming from? She was just like, I don't appreciate the fact that you have to always be butting in about my relationship with Juan. And then Gizelle goes, yeah, and even after you talked about it at the party, and you know, we asked you then to not say anything, you continue to talk about it. You know, Ashley, no, I haven't been saying nothing bad. I mean, I just been saying the same shit over and over. Okay, basically, you need to get your shit together. That damn Robyn, honey, she was not feeling it. She was like, bitch, first the fuck all, just shut up. Okay, no, Robyn, I will not shut up. I will not shut up. Just get out of my restaurant. Okay, they ain't thinking about nothing she's saying. Get your fingers out of my face. Robyn was like, bitch, this is not fingers in your face. This is fingers in your face. I just wanted to her to shove her one good time. Because even though I do like Ashley, Ashley was doing too much. I told you guys already. And even if we've been saying this shit, it's still not her place. She don't have that kind of relationship with Robyn, so I totally get it, okay? I was here for the confrontation. And that damn Gizelle over there just co-signing. Okay, you also need to get out of Charisse's business, okay, talking about her marriage. And Ashley was like, listen, I'm done with it all. All the make-believe customers is looking, trying to see what's going on over there, okay? Not on the busiest night of the fucking year. Ashley, get out of my restaurant. Get out of my restaurant. She says, well, you better watch your back because Shasha will drag you. I said, well, I don't know about all of that, Gizelle, but if that's what you gonna say, then we gonna roll with that, okay? And then they take it to the lowest blow. It's like, bitch, you need to worry about your struggling restaurant and your struggling marriage. Ashley's like, what's wrong with my marriage, girl? Quit acting like you ain't told us the shit was fucked up early in the season. They were all just like, she told them to get out. And they were like, gladly. Okay, Gizelle walks out and is like, who the fuck is eating emu up in here? They was like, nigga, we got chicken tenders. That's it. That's all we've been fucking with over here. The big confrontation goes down. Yes, it was fucked up. Yes, it was childish that you go to somebody's place of business when, you know, at least Ashley did it at a party. But, you know, when you just being trifling and you dealing with petty ass bitches, okay, like a Gizelle, and then you dealing with somebody who is pissed off like a Robyn, all you need is two people to pump the other one up, and they gonna come to your job. So yeah, it was fucked up they went to Ashley's job, but I don't give a fuck because you shouldn't have been in it like that anyway. She was so fucking rattled though, she had to call that husband and tell him how they came in there and ambushed her in this, you know, restaurant full, and her husband was just like, I'm gonna go and destroy their businesses. She was just like, they ain't got no damn businesses. They are professional speakers at, you know, fundraiser events. So, you know, just, we ain't gonna worry about it no more. But that's what's what. But honey, Michael was mad. So after this confrontation with Robyn and Gizelle, you know, Ashley wants to have a night out with her family. So she meets her mother and her brother out for dinner and drinks. The brother, dead on Humpty Hump, looked just like the guy from Digital Underground. I was just like, oh, look at him. I guess he's in college, you know, he's also does community service. He's something about he's about to go over into some third world country, was it? Is that what he said? To, you know, do some water help clean the water in these different places. So good for him, child. Anyway, the mama even looked better. You can tell that Ashley probably been helping mama out a little bit more now that she got these few little dollars from Real Housewives. Anyway, she tells them about the confrontation with Gizelle and Robyn, and that mama was getting heated. I was like, because that mama been looked like she didn't, had a little bit more touch of the street than Ashley has. The mom was like, oh, I'm getting heated. I'm getting mad. Ashley was just like, yeah, can you believe it? And they did this and they did that, and the brother was like, that's unacceptable. Ashley doesn't see her wrong in all of this, just Robyn and Gizelle's. But she did say that she feels like maybe she needs to apologize to Cherise. She didn't say why, but I'm assuming because maybe she realized that confrontation that they had when they were looking for the ball gowns, like you kind of took it too far there. There was no reason for that kind of confrontation. So the mama says that's all fine and good if that's what you're going to do, but you also need to get apologized too, because these bitches can't just be all up in your face and saying all kind of crazy ass shit about you and your marriage and all of that and nothing come from it. So Ashley says, yeah, I know. As a matter of fact, we got this PAVE event. I will tell you guys about that in a second. And we all gonna be there. I'm sure it'll come up. I was just like, girl, now see, you already starting the shit. And maybe she didn't realize what it was for. Okay, but it was just like, girl, oh, child, I'm tired. I'm tired right now. Not that I'm tired of the show. Now, later on, we see Robyn. She is at home, and she's trying to organize, all Juan's upcoming events and shit. They got this basketball camp that they overcharge the players and get the money for their own household. She doesn't say that. I'm just kidding. But that's the way it sounded. She was just like, it's an income, it's a stream of income. When you listen to people talk about basketball camps, normally it's just for the community, and they don't try to make no money off of it. So I was just like, girl, is that what we doing up there in the DMV? Also, she's trying to get him to get their schedule together because, he's doing media for the camp and all this other stuff. And Juan was just like, no, I don't feel like doing no media. I don't want to call in. I don't want to go nowhere. I just want to concentrate on the camp so we can pay these fucking bills. She was just like, oh, okay. Now, when they were talking, I don't know if Robyn doesn't get the cue because I was immediately aware that Juan did not want to talk about it and did not really want to talk to her about anything on the camera. He just sounded short. And so this was the realest part of the show, wasn't it? That damn Juan thought he was off camera, but I was like, no, baby, you still got the microphone on. You're going to learn today that Bravo keeps that shit going. So he goes into another room and he's talking to one of the producers and he was just like, I'm tired of this shit. And the guy was just like, well, what's the matter? And he was just like, I want to be with somebody I can share my life with. Anybody feel like going back and forth with fucking Robyn? If it wasn't for the kids, I would have been gone. Because the producer asked him, does he want to stay? Okay? At the same fucking time, Robyn in her delusional world, she in the kitchen in there making tea and crumpets and smiling and talking. I said, bitch, do you know that this man is throwing you under the bus? I can't even call it throwing her under the bus because it's clear to everybody. I really hope that Robyn was watching that last night, that she didn't know anything about it and that it hit her as a surprise. It was just sort of like, child, if we ain't took off the rose-colored lenses after that, I know something. We just gonna have to tough it out through the season and see what happens with Robyn and Juan. But I was just like, girl, then the man just plain right there said that he is only there for these kids, which he said the whole time, and you said too, so I can't even blame Juan. That's all on Robyn. Now, because Robyn is so delusional, maybe Dr. Jeff can speak some sense into her. All right, so Cherise has invited her out, and Robyn says because Cherise is really one of her friends and she feels like she has her best interests at heart, she could at least humor her. Even though her marriage is perfect, that she's not married anymore because she's divorced, remember? And so, she says, hey, to Dr. Jeff, and he's just like, I just feel like if you have some therapy, maybe that would help. And she says, well, just the word therapy, I don't need that because, Juan would be all for it. I'm the one that's holding back on this marriage thing because, I just can't get over the fact that he cheated in the past. I said, girl, listen. Okay, there's a few people in my comments who actually believe this story that she's talking and telling everybody, but I don't buy it. This is just your way of making yourself not feel stupid. You can just act like you in denial, but you're not in denial. You are doing this. You don't really have any choice in the matter because you can tell that Ron really doesn't want to be there, but I guess he feels obligated because of these kids. But you gonna keep on saying that, oh yeah, I could go back at any time that I want to. When a nigga just sat in the other room with the producer and said, I'm sick of this shit, I would have been gone if it wasn't for them damn boys. So I was just like, it's tiring. It's tiring to watch Robyn. Dr. Jeff says, well, you know, I mean, this could really help you. I don't want to do any therapy right here in the restaurant, but it could help you come to terms with some things. Okay, then Robyn get to cry. And I said, see, them tears, that means that you really deep down do know. You are going to lay behind this wall and say that, you know, you just not going to move on. Girl, no, we ain't. Don't let me break out these psychology books today. Y'all done already told you I'm tired. So I don't know if she's going to be meeting with Dr. Jeff, okay, or if it's going to just be something that she got to come to because everybody keeps telling her. We'll see. So Karen goes and speaks with Angela Rose, and Angela Rose is helping her with this PAVE organization that I was telling you guys about. Now, PAVE organization is a women's women who've been raped. This is an empowerment group to help them deal with, you know, what they went through. Karen is going to be a keynote speaker at their next event because we find out that Karen had been raped when she was in college. So we won't joke about any of that because nothing like that is ever funny. She's going to be the speaker at this organization's next event, and she wants to invite all the girls there. We find this out when she is working at a community service thing. She's working in the garden in the community with the young kids. You know, they're planting flowers, you know, pretty flowers for the springtime. And she has invited Gizelle. And she's got a special gift for Gizelle. You know, since you accepted my invitation, here is a pair of couture gloves for you. And then she goes on to tell us that her and Gizelle's relationship, their friendship, was actually built on community service. That's all they used to do back in the day. So they sit down and talk, all right, and she tells her about the PAVE organization and, you know, how she was going to be speaking, and she wants her to come. Okay, Gizelle says, definitely, I will for sure support. Karen says, and I believe all the other girls will support because this is a serious situation, and, you know, they even, with all of their bullshit, they normally will come together for something like this. Okay, at least she believes so. So let's see who, you know, Ashley. What about Ashley? You know, Gizelle tells her, yeah, well, Ashley might be over in the corner, you know, telling everybody's business. Okay, she does keep the story of Robyn and Gizelle's confrontation to Ashley away from Karen right now, because now is not the time, I guess. And she says, what about Monique? Well, honey, she may out-talk you. You know, the bitch can't stop talking. Here comes the messy Karen effect. Well, I must hand it to anybody who can talk as much as me. But then again, she did call you a trick. Gizelle was like, what? She called me a trick? She sure did. Okay, was I there? No, that's why I had to tell you. So, of course, Gizelle starts up again that money doesn't buy you class. It doesn't buy you style, okay? You don't even have the ability to speak well. So I guess she's still harping on this whole Monique ain't nothing but, you know, a bitch that married into money thing. Just, you know, hate her. That's all. And then you guys get into this PACE event. Karen is happy that the event is here. She's nervous because she's going to be sharing her story for the first time with these girls. But like I said, she's hoping that the girls will be there to support and nothing else. She sees Ashley, who gets there first, and she's just like, Ashley, tonight is important. So, I hope there will be no mess. Ashley assures her there will be no mess. At least not from me. I'm going to conduct myself as the classy woman that I am. Gizelle and Robyn show up, or as Ashley calls them, the green-eyed sisters. And after they greet Karen, Ashley goes up to them and is just like, hey, ladies, how are you? You look great. You look pretty. Okay, and they're like, oh, and you look sparkly. It was an uncomfortable exchange. It's like almost they didn't know if they were supposed to get the shit popping in or do they really need to wait. But they get through that, you know, hey, how you doing? And Ashley goes on about her way. We see Monique greeting Karen. Hey, the gang's all here. So they sit down, and the PAVE organization lady gets up there and says, you know, that they've got a special speaker that would be Don Lemon. And Don gets up there and tells his story of how he's held it since he was 6 years old up until he was 30 years old. When he was coming out the closet, he just had to let everybody know everything, and that he had been raped by, I believe he said, his mother's friend's son, and some friends of the boys. I believe that's what he said. He spoke out and he let them know, and so he gives his empowering speech. And then we get Karen up there. Well, by now I'm sure the ladies know that Karen is probably going to share stories such as this. And she gets up there. She starts off rocky. She's nervous at first, but you can tell as the speech went on that she started to get the confidence, and just know that you just telling your story, and it should be an issue with telling your story when you are telling your story. And the girls are compelled, and they're watching, and they didn't know this about her. And once it was over, they all tell her how strong she is, how courageous she is, okay, for letting people know this is a wonderful thing. Okay, it's all kumbaya, everybody's happy. You're thinking like, wow, we got through an event with no drama. But then I look at my phone and I realize that I still have 3 minutes left. And a lot can happen in 3 minutes. It wasn't really that much, y'all. But anyway, the girls are all going to leave after this event. We're walking all out at the same time, and we get out there in the lobby. And Ashley was just like, hey, Shasha, I need to speak to you for a second. And Gizelle's like, girl, not today. We ain't doing that today. Okay, just shuts her down. All right. And even though they probably didn't need to do any of that today, I don't like how Gizelle said that to Ashley as if she's a child. Like, I know she looks at her as a child, but like that couldn't, even though Ashley gets on my nerves, like you can't shut me down like that. Bitch, you can't do it. But I wouldn't even have tried to bring it up there. So I guess that is the childish part of Ashley. She was going to try to apologize to Cherise, but they didn't know where she was coming from with it. So they was just like, nah, bitch, we're not doing that today. Monique says, well, yeah, you're right. This is probably not the right place to do anything either, Gizelle. So I want to get your number because, I want to talk to you about some things later. And Gizelle was sort of like, oh, bitch, I'll think about it. Monique was like, oh, you're not going to give me your number? And she was just like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, but she tells Cherise, like, who asks people for their numbers and somebody just give it to her? I'm just thinking to myself, like, well, how else do you fucking get a number? What you talking about? Who just asked for a number and you don't? I was just like, oh my God, this is stupid. How does Gizelle misunderstand what Monique just said? She's just being this way and that way. And, I just feel like she's still trying to keep mess going. And I was just like, y'all, and I just watched it this morning, and y'all, I told you I'm tired. So I don't really even feel like processing all of this. So it's just childish and silly and petty and stupid and catty, and it just doesn't feel real. But maybe that's just me. Alright, you guys, let me get off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright? Alright, so I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.